Once on a part of Pro Skater 2X, this time we're going through Crane Drop and Skate Heaven. We're doing Crane Drop first, which is just basically Chopper Drop, but they've extended a little bit of things with it. It's not really much extended, however. They put some platforms around the place, but that's about it. It's still just this shipyard area that is just this giant half-pipe, which is just very boring and dull, and sucks, and I don't like it, and not a lot of people do like it, because it generally is just a nothing, sucky, fucking bonus level. And that will usually happen. So yeah, this is, Crane Drop. This is basically the updated version of Chopper Drop, and, sure, it is better than Chopper Drop, but that's like saying, well, this shit is disgusting, but someone sprayed perfume over this pile of shit, so it's better. It's still dog shit, but at least it has some more to it, I guess? Anyway, that was 3 gaps out of 10 with this one. Not a lot of gaps in this level, thank fuck for that. Though, 3 of them are a little annoying, and the rest of them just kind of awkward, like the hopping platform thing here. You just go backwards and you just hop through a pipe, that's about it. About 6 of the gaps are essentially fucking grinds, which since you already got all of the air just then, we just gotta focus on the grinds. And yeah, for the most part, I don't like this map. I've made it apparent, and I'm gonna make it apparent again. I don't like this map. This map is genuinely just a bunch of nothing, and even with these platforms, it's still fucking Chopper Drop. It's still just the most nothing, boring fucking level of Pro Skater 2. And yeah, now I have 5 gaps, so yeah, let's get rid of the other 5, shall we? I mean, hell, 2 of them are going to be easy, but it's the last 3 that are going to be the pain in the ass. Though I will figure out a way to make it all work out. And yeah, I could have shoehorned this entire bit into the last part, but I thought these deserve their own part. Anyway, yeah, as you can see, we got 1 potato, 3 potato, 2 potato, pipe it down, sliding up to get, so let's go ahead and get sliding up, which requires me to just grind up the spot here to get it. There you go, I landed it too. Then after that, we just drop down from here and grind that to get the pipe it down. And lastly, the 1 potato, 2 potato, and 3 potato, which is generally just jump up here and grind these bits. 2 potatoes, second bit there, 3 potatoes, very highest bit you can get to. There you go. And 1 potato is actually kind of hard. You can kind of cheapen it out. But if you want to get this legitimately, here's how you get legitimately. And there you go. That is all of Crane Drop. Like, legitimately, that's it. So now that the shitty level's out of the way, and it's like fucking like 3 minutes in, we can now move on to the main event, which is Skate Heaven. And Skate Heaven is still the same as it was in, Pro Skater 2. Doesn't get the Crane Drop treatment, but that's because Skate Heaven is already a pretty good level, and doesn't need anything more to add. It even introduces you in this amazing kind of heavenly way.
Skate on, my son.
So now as you get to skate on, by God, essentially we have all sorts of shit here. Some of these bits and pieces of park and shit around here are based on actual locations that I guess no longer exist. Even got this giant little snake run and all of that. And for the most part, it's really neat. It's really cool. This level also has the most amount of gaps in the fucking game. Out of any other level, it is 71 gaps total. Now, I think there are a small few levels in the entire series which have more gaps than Skate Heaven, but yeah, for the most part, Skate Heaven has a shit ton of fucking gaps, and we gotta go and take care of every single one, which is gonna take up literally like 10 fucking minutes of the video. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. And in fact, this level is actually fairly big. So for the most part, I will show off the full run here, but I will show off the areas that I didn't really show during the full run, because there's a lot. There's like a whole park area with like a bunch of grinds on the fucking curve area and shit. There's this whole bit here which you can go for. You can even jump across to get these areas, like Isle of Tony to Sadlands. This is Sadlands, by the way. What we're on is the Isle of Tony, and they've got the bench gap there. And this is the there's a little bit of area there that is also a unique area. And yeah, you got all of this shit here, which, you know, the Southern Intersect Sad Gap. These are all Sad Gaps, and there's Intersect ones and Crossover ones. This is the Mid Intersect Sad Gap, and there's also a Northern one, so I'll get that later. But, yeah, for the most part, this is basically Skate Heaven. And there's also this entire bit behind me, in which you can see a few things, including a volcano. And also, when you bail into the abyss, Satan just comes in and says, "You suck." Remember, that's actually God, who is pissed off that you fucked off. Anyway, after that, basically the main thing to note is that volcano, because there is a secret area, also it's called the I can't even say the fucking name. Dieguedo? Dieguedo? I don't know how to fucking pronounce it. I'm sorry. But, I mean, there's also this little planet thing there. And, of course, the volcano has a secret area, which we can get to, but it requires us to do something first so we can actually get it. Anyway, Northern Intersect Sad Gap done. I will get a few gaps here before I show off the gap checklist, which is all fucking mighty, so keep that in mind. But we can also go upwards from the Sadlands to the Isle of Tony. And we can also go upwards from here as well in order to get the up to Combi. This is the Combi. We can also go down from the Combi in order to get 2 gaps down to Tony's Island, dropping it on Tony. And then after that, we can then grind this entire bit here and grind this entire rail all the way through for Long Rail. There's another gap that is kind of intersecting with this one, but you get it in a different way. You're going to find a lot of the gaps in this are going to be very similar, so keep that in fucking mind. It does get very repetitive. But, yeah, get a lot of air, a lot of speed, and you can grind the spot here to get kicker to rail. And then, line up from that, you can then jump off the kicker from here into this rail in order to get kicker to rail span. And then, yeah, then there's the volcano, which you can jump in, gives you feed me, but right now, it just kills you. We'll get to that later on, but right now, 71 gaps, and as you can see, a lot of them kind of look similar as fuck to each other. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot. In fact, you're about to see me do a lot. So get ready for a lot of jumping through as I take care and try to read out every single one of these gaps. Starting with the snake run. Just can't start with this shit. Jump over the grass with Grassy Gap. Easy. Next up, the snake run. Jump across this bit here in order to get the weak sauce zig gap. And then jump across, you know, this bit over here, which is backwards, to get the reverse sag gap. Then you jump over this fucking bit here in order to get the wussy snake gap. Then you jump over this fucking bit here in order to get the weak sauce sag gap. Then you jump over this bit over here in order to get the reverse zig gap. Then you jump over this bit over here in order to get the reverse wussy snake gap. There you go. Then jump over this bit over here in order to get, it's a big jump too, to get the zag gap. And this bit over here in order to get the big old zig gap. And then a really wussy, pissy, bitch boy, fucking weak sauce wussy snake gap. Great name. Anyway, after that, we're going to jump over this window here in order to get the San Diego window to Sadlands. Then jump down here for the San Diego hole to Sadlands. And then you go over and jump backwards in order to get the Sadlands to San Diego hole. Then you go over and you jump across from, you know, actually no, you just grind these spots here. The Southern Swing Rail and the Northern Swing Rail. I'm not sure enough the fact there's swing rails here. And also this bit too. Anyway, after that, we then take care of essentially doing this jump over here to get the platform gap. Then you go ahead and do this transfer, which wouldn't work, but it does in this world, for the Air's Hole. Great name. Then you go ahead and you jump across from this roof here, down below, in order to get the House of Tony to Sadlands. Then you go ahead and you just make this gianter grass jump to get the big fat grassy gap. Then you want to go ahead and grind from this rooftop all the way across this roof in order to get the gutter to San Diego roof. And then you go ahead and you make this transfer over here, which is very awkward, to get the Sadlands path gap. Then you make some more awkward fucking transfers. Just kidding, we're not doing it just yet, but we have this area here, which has this little oval bit here, and also this obvious grind gap and the ramp at the very end, which you can lip trick from. Jump over that bit for jumping the hub. Lip trick in this doesn't really do shit, but it helps you line up in order to then get yourself enough of a speed going, all of that, to then jump over and grind that for swinging the set. Then you want to go ahead and take care of these transfers, which jump over this bit for the northwest snake gap. Then the northeast snake gap is jumping over this bit. And then you want to go ahead and take care of a very hard fucking gap, which requires you to just get it right in every way possible to get the southern snake gap without bailing. After that, you want to go ahead and jump from this kicker here over to this landing for the tight landing. Then you want to go ahead and just jump across this entire pit here to get the pit of doom. You will still fall. After that, you want to go ahead and grind this fence here all the way over to the rad ramp. It is called the rad ramp to get the fence to rad ramp. Then you jump up this kicker here to grind this rail, and then down to the fucking snake, get rail to snake run, which is the same as the long run, but whatever. Anyway, grind these spots here in order to get the ramp rail gap. And then after that, you want to go ahead and then grind this spot all the way over and then across to get the ramp to rail. I know. There's a lot going on, isn't there? But like this one, where you grind this weird spot here for 90 degrees Sadlands rail gap, and then you want to go ahead and grind this bit all the way to the edge here to get the rad ramp to Island's Edge. Then you want to go ahead, afterwards, all of that shit, which is still more by the way, to grind these spots here in order to get the rim rail gap. Then you want to go ahead and then do a grind on this spot here in order to get the 90 degree ramp rail gap. And then you want to go ahead and grind this spot here for gutter to San Diego roof, which is the exact same name as the gap, but there's an air and a rail gap that they have the exact same name. They're different gaps. Like this one, which is the San Diego hole to edge. Then you want to go ahead and get the fucking Isle of Tony to edge. And then you want to go ahead and fucking, you know, just jump over this dome here, over the dome. And then you want to go ahead and grind the very top of the dome in order to get top of the world ma. Then you want to go ahead and fucking just make a jump across from here and grind this spot here for up to pipe rail, which isn't that hard to get, but there you go. Then you want to go ahead and then use this entire bit here, this whole entire lineup, get it in maybe a comma if you want, but for the most part, grind this bench afterwards to get the rail to kicker to rail to bench. After that, you want to go ahead and then jump down and hit this little edge here for San Diego roof to edge. And I'm fucking god that I have to say that word anymore. And then you want to go ahead and make this series of grinds in order to get the rad ramp to snake run. Then you want to go ahead and make a jump over the fucking bit here for clearing the swings. Then you want to go ahead and just jump from this roof to the ground on the edge in order to get the off the roof to rail. And then you want to go ahead and then do this fucking, you know, southern crossover sad gap and the northern crossover sad gap, which causes you to grind these specific spots. After you've done all of that shit, then take care of the fucking bench series, the bench gap series, which you can do the basic way of just doing one and going forward, or you can be a fucking Chad. Boom! Anyway, moving forward, now I'm going to get into that secret area which requires me to get this specific gap over here, which is called Time to Feed the Volcano. Now you hear the rumbling of the volcano, go over and jump into that motherfucker right now. It is time, so don't waste around about this, but once you jump in, you will end up in the secret area where you get the secret Tony skate park. There's also a Neversoft graveyard, which you can use to teleport back. I'll show that later on. But here it is, the secret heavenly skate park of Tony's. And essentially, a good few of the gaps remaining are in this area. There's not too many, but, you know, we're going to take care of this shit anyway. And really, this is the last area of the fucking entirety of Tony Hawk 2 when it comes to, you know, what we can explore for the most part. So, let's get these gaps out of the way now. So, after I bail, first off, we're going to have to go ahead and just show off the graveyard. There you go. Then afterwards, we want to go ahead and do a big fucking transfer from this ramp all the way to this ramp in order to get the blown out the hole. then you basically break over a bit of the ramp because of doing that, which will allow you to then go under it to get Tunnel Loving. You can do it back and forth if you want. Then you want to go ahead and do this transfer the Holy Grail. Then grind this bit here over to a grind on the other end to get the Chenrail series. And lastly, you want to get enough speed and air and shit to do a giant wall ride across this wall here over to that small platform to get the Woohoo Oho Yeehee. And that is it. That is all of the Skate Heaven gaps. That is also all of the Pro Skater 2 gaps. We are now done with Pro Skater 2. That was a lot. That was a lot. And we're not even done yet. We're only at, like, maybe the halfway point. We're at least a little bit close to the halfway point. Because there is more to this game. Because it is 2x, there is the factor of just, you know, Pro Skater 1 being here. Also, there are chat messages. They're not going to show up at all because it's for the multiplayer, which doesn't exist anymore. But, we're also showing off all our cheats, which, for whatever reason, 2 of these stay blacked out forever. But, for the most part, we have all the cheats as well. Nicely done there. So, what exactly is up next? Well, as you already know, we have the 2x levels, the exclusive levels of the game. We could be doing Pro Skater 1, but Pro Skater 1 is not unlocked until you get a fair amount of the Pro Skater 2x shit done. So, with Pro Skater 2x, it is just tapes here. Yes, the tapes return, and they are here for Pro Skater 1 and 2x. We have Club London, we have Construction Site in Dallas, and we have the original Tampa. We're going to be doing all of this shit next time, so thank you for watching, and I will see you then for an interesting time.